What if I told you that the Lord plays chess and not checkers? He plays chess and not checkers with our enemies. So chess and checkers both are board games of strategy. You do need strategy with both board games. The difference is with checkers, you have two sides where they both are identical. They're identical in the shape, they're identical in, the appearance. The only difference is the color. You have, because you have opponents. So of course you have to have some type of difference so that they can know who their opponent is. So you have a black side, you have a red side. Okay. But the goal of this game is to make simple strategic moves to conquer your opponent on the opposite side of you, to block your opponent from getting over to your side. So simple, but yet still strategic. Now with chess, on the other hand, chess, like I said, that they're both still strategic games. So they're games of strategy. But with chess, you have much more intricate players. You have, or like I'm saying players, but more intricate pieces. You have different pieces on the board. So all pieces are not the same. They don't look the same. They're not identical. So you have different types of players on the board where each player serves a different purpose. Each player has a different rank. Each player can make different moves. So each player serves a different purpose. So the strategy with chess can tend to be a little more nuanced than with the straightforward, simple, um, strategic moves and strategy plays on checkers. So with chess, the goal the goal is to checkmate, which checkmate means that you are going after the big fish. You are going after your opponent's king. So you have to, you may have to take some other people out before you get to the king, because of course the king is always protected. So you take some other people out before you get to that king, but with chess, you're going for the gusto. You're going for the big dog, the big fish, whichever way you want to call it. So, as I said, chess is a little more nuanced than checkers is. So, the Lord uses our enemies as the pawns in the game. The pawns they actually are pretty important um, players in the game of chess. They are the lowest ranking, but they are pretty important. So the pawns, they are used to pretty much to help the king reach its goal. The pawns are used to block your opponent, to block the moves of the opponents, and they are used to basically gain grounds on your opponent's side, pretty much. So they are very important. So you need your pawns. But your pawns are used to get your king to victory. Without your pawns, then you may take a hit on your bigger players that rank a little higher. So you need your pawns to possibly take hits, but they have more mobility on the board so they can gain more room on the board for you. So that's what the Lord uses your enemies for. He uses your enemies to help you get over to victory. Whether you're a male or female, but we're going to call you a king today for the sake of the um, analogy with the game of chess. So you being the king or queen that you are, but for the sake of this analogy, we're going to call you a king. You being the king that you are, you being the big fish, you being the big dog that you are, your role in the kingdom is more important. Your role in the kingdom is very important. So he needs someone that's going to help you gain space. Someone that's going to help you gain victory, help you get to your victory. Most people, oddly enough, you would think that you would want to, or it would be easier for you to get to victory by way of pleasure or by way of wanting to get to victory. So you just do it. You just do what you have to do to get to victory. But quite the contrary is actually true. Some people need to be pushed into victory. They need to be forced into victory. You're not going to allow the people that you love to, or the people that you are familiar with, to help push you into victory because you're going to put up more of a fight. You're going to resist the people that you are more familiar with, and the people that you love, you're going to resist them more. So what better way? How brilliant is our King to put people that serve as our opponents, our biggest haters, to use them to push us, to force us into victory. That's a very nuanced and strategic move. Sometimes he have to force us out of hiding in order to get to our victory. Sometimes he may have to force us into hiding to push us into our victory. But he will strategically place, might I add, strategically place these pawns in different spaces on our board called life in order to get us over to our victory. Had it not been for that pawn, had it not been for that enemy taking up space, we would not know the lessons that we do now about how evil works and how evil moves, how the enemy works and how the enemy moves. So he uses our enemy to give us inside detail, to give us inside. He it's almost as if he places us undercover without us even knowing that we're in this secret assignment. He places us before our enemy. You may feel like you're being fed to the lions. You may feel like you were just thrust amongst the beasts so that they can have their way with you. But you're really undercover. He's playing chess and not checkers. So his moves are a little more nuanced. If you look back at it, you were able to move in such a strategically beautiful way, and you didn't even know it. You didn't even realize it. You didn't catch on to it until this very moment, until you were able to think back and fully see it in hindsight. Most times you're not able to see the full board or to see the full picture while you're in the game, like in that moment. You have to step outside of it. You have to walk away from it. Come back, think about it, take a second look at it, and then you're able to grasp what was really going on. Your enemies are your pawn. They are serving as your pawn to help get you to victory. You see how they move, so you know not to move that way. So they're doing you a favor. They're showing you what not to do. And they think that they have the upper hand on you. They think that they're getting your play. They think that they're stealing your play. They think that they're getting the inside scoop on you. But you are really getting the inside scoop on them. You see how they're moving. You see their play by play. You see their pitfalls. You may not even realize that you notice it or that you see it. They definitely don't know that you notice it and that you see it. They think that you're just a sitting duck waiting to get plucked. But little do they know that you're a whole king. Whether you're male or female, we're only using king for the purpose of the analogy of chess. You're a whole king on this board. They're the pawns. You're not the pawn. But they look at you as though you are the pawn when you're the king. Isn't that funny? So they thought that they were coming to conquer you. But little do they know is that the Lord was only using them. They were going to do what they were going to do anyway. But this is a prime example of how our King will use what the enemy meant for bad, and he will turn around and use it for our good. This is a prime example of how the Lord would make our enemies our footstools. Think it not strange that they were able to betray you the way that they did. It did hurt, true, it did hurt. It did. So they got a lick on you. But in the big scheme of things, your lick back is showing up. Your lick back is to recognize first and to walk in your full authority. You don't have to make the same moves that they made because you see where it has gotten them. So you don't make those same moves. You walk in your God-given authority. This is the game of chess, not checkers. Your enemy do not think in a nuanced, strategic way. Your enemy thinks in the terms of checkers. They make simple, strategic moves. So when you're used to playing chess with nuanced, strategic moves, these simple rules or moves, these simple moves are easy and plain to see. It's like it's like a senior in college playing with a kindergarten. Once you get to a certain levels, because there's levels to everything. Once you get to a certain level, then their strategic moves are so easy and plain to see. And they don't even know that you see it. Y'all are playing two different games. You both came to the same board, but they came to the board to play checkers. The Lord brought you to the board to play chess. So they didn't even know that there was another game being played. They didn't even realize it because they make simple strategic moves. They make simple moves. They don't even know how to think in a nuanced fashion. They have two colors, red and black. They don't know how to think in any other color. They don't know how to think in pink or to think in gray or to think in green. Red and black, that's it, simple. So your enemy may move in a barbaric, in a, because they think that they're the big dog. They think that they're the big fish, but they're not. They're actually the lowest ranking player on the board. They are valuable. They are, because if it had not been for your enemy, you would not know all of the plays that you do. So they're very valuable. Judas was very valuable to the whole story of Jesus and the story of our salvation. Judas was very valuable. He didn't come in, you know, knowing that he was going to betray him. No, he came in to be a genuine follower, which may be the same for some of your enemies. They didn't come in initially to betray you, but they ultimately made the decision to betray you. So they willingly decided to become a pawn in the Lord's game of chess. They didn't know that they were playing chess, mind you. It's a board with little squares. It looks the same. They thought they were playing checkers. They thought because they're making simple moves that the moves that you make are simple as well. So they feel blindsided when they realize that you were playing a completely different game. So think it not strange that you were able to come out of that storm that your enemies attempted to place you in. Think it not strange that you were able to come out of that storm brand new. Think it not strange that you were able to rise from the ashes. Think it not strange that you are receiving beauty for your ashes. Think it not strange that the years that the cankerworm has stolen is now being restored. Because the Lord uses your enemy to bring you to victory.